Welcome back. Joining us on the show now is Peter McGuire from XM Australia. Peter, hi, good to have you. It's the crude oil prices that we are looking at right now, and we've seen 2 weeks of constant declines onto this one. Last week actually was 5% of a cut coming in at $83 a barrel. What would you want to look at? Because the Russian oil continues to come into the markets. We are looking at higher inventories in US. US also is looking to sell some more, or rather give out more crude from SPR as well. So supply as a concern really seems to be going away.
Absolutely, and good afternoon, Manisha. Look, it's been a dynamic couple of weeks, and we've got to put our mind across. Also, you've seen a big run up as far as US dollar index, and that's taken the heat out of a lot of the markets as far as commodities. But you can't get your eye away from the situation as far as the China with Russia and the talks going on there. Think about what happened geopolitically with Blinken, and also appreciate that we could be in, I think, some hot water coming forward. So I've just got to sit here and look at the markets. Some of them have been tailed off very heavily over the last couple of weeks, some of those base metals, and they've also dragged down energy. So it's a time to be short, but maybe that's going to reverse, Manisha.
So when you do talk about being short, what are you really looking at? Because yes, the markets also are looking at the dollar holding at 103 or 4 kind of levels. Higher US Fed rate hikes is another thing. And the Chinese demand, a big question mark on the sustainability of it. What is it that's more bothering for you on the demand side of it?
Well, I'm looking from, first off, the demand side. I want to see what goes on as far as Jay Powell's comments this week, where we're thinking as far as how many more rate rises over the next matter of months, and what's the headline going to be. So that really, I don't think is that we've got a line in the sand definitively drawn in there. So we sit here and just wait and trade, intraday or over a couple of days. But I feel as though that I'm looking at the big themes. I want to see what happens as far as global central banks and what the rhetoric is moving forward for the rest of the month, Manisha, unless we see something dramatic happen geopolitically.
Oh, yes. So, even if we are keeping on the short side here, how much of further decline are you anticipating, Peter? Starting with energy first, for the crude oil prices, where do you see supports now kicking in?
Well, I think we've washed out pretty hard. I mean, maybe you might see another dollar or two, Manisha, but it's very choppy. You're seeing big moves over, Friday night was massive. We were nearly down 3%. So, hang on to your hat because it's volatile. And over a session, you can see, quite a lot of whipsawing. So maybe another dollar or two wiped out, but I won't be surprised to see a reversal, Manisha.
So what range are you looking at, Peter? If $2 of a decline, what kind of an upside are we looking at?
Well, yeah, I think you're going to give back some of that stuff that you took out on Friday. So we got no trade today on President's Day, but overall, I think you might be up for a bit of an uplift this week, maybe up a couple of bucks, Manisha. So until we get some definitive news as far as what's going on or what are the key drivers, it's just, trade the day and just see how you go performance-wise.
Before we let you go, Peter, how are you looking at the metal space? I mean, you mentioned that there is decline as well. The last couple of weeks have been quite on the lower side here. Are there any buying opportunities now emerging?
Well, I just, looking at the numbers, Manisha, we got 20% down for 10 in 3 weeks. That's a wipeout. You've got aluminium down 10%. You've got copper down 4%. Now, I think that they're probably at those bottoms. We've had China reopen and they've given up all of that hot air. So maybe it's a time now we're going to see again a reversal to the upside. It's cheaper now than it was 3 weeks ago. So it's a good time to be trading these particular metals.